Hello and welcome to the latest legal update for the Solicitors Group TSG Legal TV Management. My name is Damon Swindell of Law Risk Limited and I shall be talking to you today about client relationship management. With the dawn of new style regulation and outcomes being the focus for all of us, client relationship management has been brought even more to the fore than was perhaps previously the case. It's usually considered under the heading of client care, which is probably an outdated term nowadays. Perhaps we should now be thinking about client service. Two aspects to this: compliance in terms of compliance with the Code of Conduct, but also using client relationship management as a valuable marketing tool to help us meet the challenges ahead in an ever more changing environment, ever more competitive environment for purchase of legal services. On the compliance side, in the new SRA Code of Conduct, we'll be referring to Chapter 1. Most of what we find in terms of the outcomes in Chapter 1 were previously found as Rule 2 in the old Code of Conduct, and not so long ago as Practice Rule 15 in the old Practice Rules. My experience in the legal profession dates back 20 years when Practice Rule 15 just been introduced. I find it difficult to believe all the fuss over Practice Rule 15. Why would we not provide information about who is dealing with the client matter and who's supervising the work, and providing information on the likely fees that would be charged for the work to be done? But still today, 20 years on, this seems to be the source of many a complaint or grumble from clients in terms of the lack of information in this regard. We're all required to send confirmation of various information that's covered under Chapter 1 in the Code of Conduct, usually a letter that's called the client care letter. My suggestion would be that we don't call that letter the client care letter anymore. It is a confirmation of instructions letter, and all sorts of things that need to be covered within that letter to make sure that the relationship with the client is well established right at the outset, and thereby avoiding problems further down the line. Just a couple of pointers in my experience as an assessor for the Lexel quality standard. I read lots of client care letters in terms of business. It'd be my suggestion that the term fee earner is not used in these documents. I don't think that presents a good impression to clients, when one of the first things they hear is that the fee earner dealing with their work, etc., etc. Plenty of other titles you can give these people, perhaps not fee earner. Also, the person nominated in your firm to deal with complaints, should you receive any complaints, perhaps shouldn't be called the complaints partner. Perhaps the client care partner or the client service partner would sound better than complaints partner. I've also read many a client care letter that starts off, "Our regulator requires us to send you the following information." Doesn't set the best of impressions. The implication is that the firm is only providing this information because they're required to by their regulator, where in fact the information provided is very valuable information to establish that relationship with our client, and of course to avoid irritation or complaints further down the line. The key thing in terms of client relationship management, because we all have a relationship with our client, is to think like them and not think like solicitors. Clients ever more demanding, ever more sophisticated, all sorts of information that we need to provide them with at the outset of their matter. And in terms of client satisfaction, all of our marketing efforts, all of our client relationship management efforts should be on the basis that we're thinking like clients and not thinking like solicitors. So what do the clients expect? We need to at least meet those expectations and hopefully exceed those expectations. Much of what is talked about and read in terms of client relationship management seems to be in the negative. It's about covering backs. The client care letters, quite lengthy documents now, which have all sorts of things in them, which is essentially about covering backs. I think the new style regulation, outcomes focused regulation, provides us with an opportunity of knowing our clients well and ensure that what we produce for them in terms of our terms of business and our confirmation of instructions letter is appropriate and relevant for them and their particular matter, rather than receiving a very long, lengthy, complicated precedent letter which may or may not be all relevant to them. Taking a stage further, client relationship management should go beyond compliance. It should go beyond making sure that we have those outcomes covered in the SRA Code of Conduct. Client relationship management is an important, crucial marketing tool. In terms of our outcomes, what we're trying to achieve is client retention. We want clients to stay with us. We want clients to come back to us next time they need a solicitor. And we'd like them to recommend us to others. And those firms who monitor the source of their work would probably tell us that most of their instructions come from existing clients or recommendation. That might be as much as 75% of their work comes in that way. So why do clients stay with us? Why do they come back? And why are they comfortable recommending us to others? We must be doing some things well. What are those things? And they probably amount to impressive client service. So we need to think like clients. We need to think about those things that impress our clients, and we need to do those well and consistently. I don't think it's going to be sufficient in the future for us to be okay or mediocre in terms of client service. We need to be impressive. What are those impressive things? We need to be very aware of those. To be aware of those, we need to think like clients and not like solicitors.